You know what I got? I got a picture of his face with the little pillow on, the sleep face, and we're in Chicago.
Are they already in Chicago?
The one and only Leo Biaz. Hey, Leo.
I'm excited to be back, my man. It was 9 days in Vegas. We got stuck in the desert, and we had a little hangover remix out there, man.
I wore a wig to school once, and they said no headgear was allowed.
How did
Spider web
was it
tights.
Obvious that it was a wig?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was having
terrible
fun.
wig.
See, this is exactly why we have them on the show, and this is what makes them fun.
You're listening to KXVS, the voice of Stockton, 92.1 FM. My name is Miriam, and I am the voice of Stockton.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS, the voice of Stockton, or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
This broadcast will start in 60 seconds. This broadcast will start in 45 seconds. This broadcast will start in 30 seconds. This broadcast will start in 15 seconds. This broadcast will start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Voice of Stockton. For more information on The Voice of Stockton, go to thevoiceofstockton.org. And welcome into the broadcast this evening. It's afternoon. Dustin Breakbill alongside the one and only, my good brother wrestling term, a.k.a. Ben Sanchez. Hey, Ben.
Hey, what is going on, Dustin? What are you up to? Details?
Details, fixing the board real quick. But yeah, what's going on, though, with your week? How was your week before we get to wrestling talk?
Well, it was quite an interesting week, busy week. Friday the 13th really doesn't go as planned as it never does. I think I lost my wallet sometime.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you didn't tell me this?
Yeah.
Wow.
I lost my wallet, and then I found my wallet in the driveway. It fell out of the car. And I didn't see it because it was under the tire.
Did you check everything was in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I was the only one in the driveway so at the time, yeah.
Don't you hate when that happens, though? You're lose stuff and then you don't find it?
Yep. So, yeah, the Friday was not the greatest. Earlier in the week, just staying busy.
Had a podcast, as always. Check it out. How can people check out Challenge Mode real quick?
So Challenge Mode, you can check it out on Instagram. We have a Facebook as well. That is facebook.com/challenge mode with a 3.
With a
at
3.
the end, yeah. It's mod 3.
Mod 3.
Sim likes to call it.
Okay.
It's elite speak.
So, I forgot my notes out there. Oh, well, I remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, you can remember.
What this podcast is about, it's about the world of wrestling from a unique perspective because we're fans, and like every other wrestling podcast, we try not to be lame, I would say. I don't know if you could say that. Some wrestling podcasts can get a little too fanny sometimes.
I think so. I mean, there's always going to be bias in certain podcasts. You're going to have your favorites.
We're not gonna bash Roman Reigns.
No.
Even though sometimes I'm like, what's up with this dude?
No, I mean it's mainly just kind of from a perspective of a fan.
Yeah.
And what we like, what we're seeing, what we're
not gonna bash companies or anything like that.
No, I mean anything is.
We're gonna be critical, but
everything is good for wrestling, right? As many companies that are out there that are providing jobs for these men and women that are doing this thing, but also for us, it gives us avenues of a lot of different places to watch wrestling. So it's great because you're not always going to like the WWE style, or you're not always going to like New Japan, or maybe the Lucha style,
or ROH now, or TNA's kind of or Impact, I would say, making a return kind of under Don Callis and Scott D'Amore. But you know what? Talking about wrestling organizations and kind of like a new one. We talked about All In the first episode.
Yeah.
And they made a major announcement this week. We kind of talked about it last week. We were like, what are they going to do with the broadcast? And they haven't announced exactly what they're going to be broadcasting on. Maybe Fight. I think it's Fight TV. That's what StarCast is going to be on. But they haven't announced the exact platform. But they announced the broadcasting crew.
Yeah,
and Ben's going to get those details in a second.
I'm sure, probably.
I forgot all of them from top of my head, but I know who the ring announcer is going to be. It's going to be the one and only Justin Roberts. He's really
Justin Roberts.
Fantastic. I always liked him.
Yeah, I always like his work. You know, I think that everybody that they have is really good.
Yeah. Took over for the Fink, though. He was like the main guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Lillian took over for a while, but then Justin Roberts became the A.
Yeah, and Lillian did an amazing job when she was there, and of course she moved on to other things. I think she wanted to focus on music, which I mean she has the voice for it, so why not? You know, sometimes you're working in those places and you really enjoy what you do, and then you're pulled into something else, a project you really want to work on, and so it's exciting to see people move on to other things. But yeah, Justin really got a chance to step it up, and he's really, you know, knocked it out of the park. So I'm excited for him to be a part of this, along with you know, Cyrus, who's
AKA Don Callis.
Yeah, AKA Don. It says we know. Well, I know.
Cyrus the Virus.
I knew Cyrus from Cyrus the Virus from ECW, and you know,
he was a really good character as Cyrus the Virus.
He was, and he was
also the Jackal in WWF.
Yeah, but yeah, he always would come on, and he was, you know, that network character, like, you can't do this.
Standards and practice.
Yeah, standards and practices and policies and rules, and always giving
It was like the end of ECW, but it was good.
It was, yeah. And it was really cool, you know, for his character. And so that kind of transitions over into his broadcasting work, which is going to be good because he's a great heel commentator.
And he is. He came back to wrestling, though, as a commentator because he was away for a while. I don't know if you know this, but he works for I don't know if he still does, but I think he does. He works for the province of Manitoba as I think, financial person or somebody.
Okay.
He does work with the government in Canada, but after he quit wrestling for a while. But then he got back into wrestling when New Japan heard his work on, I think, Jericho's podcast and was like, oh, I want to talk to that guy. But there was a funny story. They call Lance Storm, which we all know Lance Storm, Mr. Personality. That's not in diss, but he'll tell you that too. And
yeah.
But Lance
I appreciate Lance Storm because he's just blunt and to the point, and that's why I like it. It's such a deadpan delivery of like, here's what it is. That's it.
But Cyrus actually got hot at Lance for being like, oh, they called me. Cyrus was like, I don't think that's for you. I think that was for me. But then they ended up calling Don Callis. But Don Callis is part of TNA now. People don't know that really. He's running it behind the scenes with
Scott D'Amore.
Scott D'Amore and him are taking over, trying to help that. There was fledgling for a while.
You know, Scott D'Amore really brought a lot when he was there in TNA, and
as one of the creative guys.
And he really was behind a lot of the younger guys at the time. I was watching it, like Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, and of course he was the manager for Team Canada at the time,
which was an underrated faction for a while.
It really was. And Petey Williams was such a great captain, and I don't know if you know, but at some point he when they did some of the boys got together and did a band.
Oh, did they? I didn't know this.
Petey Williams was a drummer. Alex Shelley was doing the vocals, and Chris Sabin was on guitar, and I forgot who the fourth.
Then, speaking of, that kind of ties in with two guys in WWE now, Bobby Roode and Chris. Oh man, why am I blanking on his name? Chris is Young? No, from Sanity. Who's Eric Young.
Eric Young, yes.
Not Chris Young, but Eric Young. But Eric Young. But yeah, those guys were all in Team Canada. But
yeah,
Cyrus is going to be the color commentator. I think that's what they've announced. And I forgot who's doing play-by-play. I believe the new ROH guy. Ian.
Not Bobby Cruz, is it?
I don't think so. Ian, who's... Oh, man. Do you have it in front of you? No.
Excalibur?
I'll look it up real quick.
No, Excalibur's from... isn't he from PWG?
Maybe.
I think so.
Tell
me a little bit about Alicia, because a lot of people are Alicia is on this.
Man,
she's part of this thing, but I don't know.
I'm a Mark, but I don't know right now.
Yeah, I don't know much about like some of. I know part of the broadcast team, but I don't know everybody that's a part of it. But yeah, Justin for sure was a guy I recognized the most because he's in all kinds of stuff. You know, he's doing not just the the ring stuff, but he's on a lot of the web stuff too, which is really good because it's cool for me, because if I don't have a subscription to that, you can follow Ring of Honor on YouTube or on Facebook, and pretty much you're gonna always see Justin in a lot of those different interviews backstage about what's going on, or like the pre-show stuff will be a big part of that. So yeah, I'm glad he's doing it. I'm glad they allowed him to get some time to do that. I don't know. I think overall, All In, the great thing about All In is they're strategically kind of plugging those pieces together. Like, here's the big names, and then over the course of several weeks, you're getting, one wrestler, another wrestler, another wrestler. Now we got the broadcast team. We had the referees announced a couple weeks ago.
Earl Hebner is going to be part of them.
Yeah. So you're going to see some iconic, referees that have been in the business from across different, organizations to be a part of
Maybe
this.
Maybe Dave Hebner will make a run in.
That would be kind of neat. I think so. And of course, Earl's been he's reffed at almost every organization.
I don't think he was with he was with Jim Crockett, but I don't think he was with WCW, but he was with WWE for a long time.
Yeah, for a long time, and then he went
TNA. Him and his son, Brian Hebner, who was also a good referee.
Yeah, so everything's really coming together. The venue's there, the Starcast, which is the
podcast convention, wrestling convention,
accompanying that on the same Labor Day weekend.
Lots of cool stuff they're doing. Conrad Thompson.
Yes, I mean anyone that's who's who in wrestling is probably going to be there, except for the WWE people.
Yeah,
it would actually be surprising to me if a WWE person showed up.
What if I know it would, but I don't think it would happen. What if CM Punk showed up that night?
This is interesting because
it's in Chicago.
It's in Chicago. It's in his hometown. He is going to be a part of Starcast or something.
Is Colt Cabana going to be part of Starcast? Yeah, I haven't heard of it. Okay,
I would think so. Yeah. If they haven't announced it, I'm sure he's on the card for it.
Yeah. But imagine if a CM Punk showed up at the end of the night against Cody Rhodes or something like that.
Yeah, that would be huge for wrestling, because here's a guy that I followed for a long time.
And I was just watching sorry to cut you off, but on the network this week on Something Else to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson, the final episode of the season was about CM Punk's coming in early in the WWE, and how it took him a couple years because the tryout wise he wasn't spectacular.
They didn't. It just and which is great because it gave Punk time to develop in Ring of Honor, and of course he
had those great feuds.
Ended up becoming the trainer for the dojo, which is cool because now they actually have this really cool Ring of Honor dojo. They've really put together this awesome. They post stuff on Facebook, they'll post different things on Facebook and Instagram with a lot of the up and coming wrestlers who are training in the dojo, and kind of how they learn just the basic stuff in there and promos and things like that.
I was also looking at one of CM Punk's early feuds with Raven in ROH, which was I guess pretty legendary.
Yeah,
I didn't know about that. Then his feuds with Samoa Joe.
Yeah, of course, Samoa Joe. Those are total legendary matches. I have some of those on DVD, and those are just spectacular. I think there's a shoot, but with both of them, a shoot interview, where at some point they were just trying. You always hear the stories of they're just kind of feeling their way out for the last 10 or 15 minutes of the show or something like that. And of course, really, that's what wrestling's about too. Obviously, you kind of have a game plan going in. And working with how you're going to play out the match, but a lot of it depends on the crowd.
Yeah,
and they definitely play off the energy of the crowd to make adjustments as they're going and performing in the match.
But getting back to All In, we haven't seen who else is announced yet. Really, we haven't. No, we don't even know they're holding it close to the vest.
Yeah, and which is good.
And which is
awesome. Like that really builds a lot of. That's the thing that's missing with wrestling today is a lot of mystery, and I think that's why All In is really special, because it is shrouded in mystery. We don't know much other than a broadcast team, a handful of referees,
a handful of wrestlers,
and 2 matches, and it's sold out. And so I think they're playing it really well. The Bucks and Cody, even though they're not promoters, they know the ends of the ring.
And somebody like Cody's who's been in it all his life, basically.
And I'm sure he's learned.
His dad's one of the best bookers of all time.
Yeah, he's learned a lot from his dad over the years. So this will be special, and we've got 2 months to go.
Yeah, September 1st, I believe, or around there, Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend, so the first week of September.
It's going to be so awesome, I think. And they haven't even really announced what's going to be on and the platform they're gonna watch it on. But yeah, they're getting ready.
That's what everybody's gonna wait for, because all these people bought tickets. They're gonna see it, but the rest of the wrestling fans are like, where is it going to get broadcast to? Like, how are we going to see this? You know, I mean, with the tech today that we have, it's doable, but at the same time, like I think Cody and the Bucks have said, all these guys are on contracts. How are we going to play this all out? This is kind of like the ultimate comic book crossover.
Yeah.
You're never going to, this is like a once in a lifetime thing. You're going to see people wrestle each other who've never wrestled before. You know, like you're always sitting back thinking, oh man, and I know the wrestlers get the question all the time is, who would you love to face? What's the one person, if they were alive today, who would you love to wrestle? And I think this All In could possibly, if it does well, could be that platform, you know, every year. Like you could just see dream matches booked, you know, at All In.
Where do you think, like, besides we mentioned CM Punk, it's going to be in Chicago, what would the other surprise besides CM Punk, this person, you'd be like, oh my goodness, he showed up. Like, we haven't seen him in so long. I'm trying to think of, like, a main name besides CM Punk that's high on the list of free agents.
Yeah, I mean, CM Punk definitely for sure, just because he's always said he's never coming back to wrestling.
Which I don't agree. I think he'll be back one day.
Yeah, well, it depends. You know, you just really for him, it was just a burnout.
Burnout, yeah,
yeah, and that's what it was. And working with the company that didn't really value his, you know, his skills, and of course, obviously, there was the medical things too, which he won, by the way. I don't know if people even know that, but that was
a big story for the last couple months.
Story for the last couple months.
That even broke up him and his Colt Cabana friendship for a while.
Yeah, it did, and obviously, Colt really has restructured his podcast a little bit. Yeah. Which is, well, I mean,
it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. I still listen to Colt, but
it's not the same.
It doesn't have the same energy or the same feel. I feel like it used to.
Maybe he'll get back to that like later on.
I hope so. Yeah. I really do. I think it might have just been one of those things where it was just kind of like we were in court. We were focusing on court, and we were so stressed out about that. Maybe it just kind of threw off their podcast game.
Let's now move on to transition wise. Another one is some of the guys in All In that's going to be at New Japan. It's All Japan.
What if you had Mysterio?
That'd be a good one.
Because I feel like Mysterio popped up in New Japan, and there was some kind of challenge thrown out by Ospreay, and
that's a guy who's in controversy right now. Ospreay.
Is he?
Well, because I believe he was in that match. Let's get to it. New Japan was in San Francisco last week, and we talked about for the G1 second year in a row they're in the United States. They were in Long Beach last year. I believe it was Ospreay versus who was I telling you? Was it Tanahashi? That got injured last week. You might want to pull this up, but I believe it was Tanahashi. I think I heard Jericho talking about this on Busted Open last week on Sirius XM.
Oh, you're talking about the Takahashi?
Yeah, Takahashi, not Tanahashi.
He went against Dragon.
Okay, it wasn't him, but it was. I think it was Ospreay. That's what Jericho was talking about. Like some of the moves he doesn't really have to do. Like the brain, was it the Brain Buster or one of those two? But that's getting back to people talking about this Tanahashi is it Takahashi?
It's Takahashi.
Takahashi, not Tanahashi.
Yeah, it's Hiromu Takahashi. Yeah,
he got injured last week with his neck.
Yeah, and if it was he was going against Dragon Lee. And, I heard a lot about that, and neck injury is really it's definitely heartbreaking to hear when that happens to one of the guys in the business. You know that cut Stone Cold's career short. It cut
because the Owen Hart
pile driver. It cut Edge's career short. It's affected a lot of people. Daniel Bryan was one of the key guys that it affected, but I mean. Yeah. And we'll talk about that later too. So I kind of want to touch on Daniel Bryan's return
because it's been a weird one, huh?
It's a strange road that he's on. I mean, I think a lot of fans really wanted to see him come back, and as I did myself. But I feel I've seen Daniel in his prime, and I've seen him wrestle in PWG. I've seen him wrestle in Ring of Honor, and I enjoyed a lot of those matches. And this, of course, seeing him come over and wrestle for the big organization. And he had a great run, but I was really hoping he wasn't going to come back just because of his health. But I know that's what he's passionate about, and he did whatever it took to get him to that level to come back. So But yeah, with the it's unfortunate with Takahashi. I mean, I know X-Pac and a lot of other guys on Twitter really wish him the best for a recovery, you know?
Yeah, and some people are saying some of these moves, some of these spots these guys do, they don't have to do. That's what kind of like led up to maybe like the talk, I guess, this week. That was the big one about some of these moves you don't have to do. And then the other controversy during that G1 was the JR, good old JR, Jim Ross.
Yeah, and I saw clips of this, you know, with the
Access TV.
Yeah, which was the was it like a drop? Like, did he throw a drop kick, or it was through the guy hit the fence?
The guardrail, yeah. So Jay White and who was
Jay
it?
White and
Jay White and I can't remember.
Juice, right?
Yeah, Juice Robinson, which won the match, which was awesome.
Yeah, which was a really good match, but I think Juice banged into the guardrail.
Yeah, Jay White,
because Jay White threw him.
Yeah,
and the guardrail hit the table, the broadcasting
where
table,
was that?
Which popped into JR's ribs and sent him flying
back. And
Josh Barnett bought some time, and he got up, and the crowd was just like, oh my god, you know, a JR fell over.
Was this a spot or yeah?
I don't. I'm not.
They
really
say it's not.
Yeah, they say it's not. I really don't know. I mean, from the footage that I saw, it didn't look like a spot at all.
Yeah,
it just looked like one of those things that happened.
It was a natural reaction between Josh Barnett, I guess.
Yeah, that was the reaction. And then I knew Barnett was just trying to buy time.
Yeah, he was.
To get a so
he knows how to work a little bit
himself.
too.
Yeah. So he kind of worked the crowd, because the crowd was like, ooh, you know, and starting to boo. And
he went in the ring.
He went in the ring and got, you know, like the people were kind of cheering him on, and Jay White was, you know, playing it cool and walking around, and they were just exchanging words back and forth. So I mean, you know, these are some of the moments where you have to kind of think on your feet, you know, and that's the experience that, you know, Jay White definitely getting this experience in New Japan it's a great opportunity for him. He's done really well. I was surprised to see him lose, but
back to the JR thing. I think a lot of people were like, "Wow, what's going on?" Because JR was. We already know New Japan fans don't like the way JR. It's more of the U.S. style because they don't like JR's commentary. A lot of New Japan fans don't like it, and
well, here's the thing. People just love to complain about everything. You know, when I first was introduced to New Japan, you know, a few years ago, and watching Okada, watching Tanahashi and their rivalry, and you know, I knew Alex Shelley was there, so I got to get some matches in with him, and he was teaming with Kushida at the time, and Kushida's fantastic. He's one of a really amazing performer, and just overall the New Japan product was really good. And that's when Access TV had, you know, they had a deal. Mark Cuban was really interested in this product and really behind it, so he decided to, you know, I think they broke it into seasons. I think they did season 1 on Access, and
that's what they
2.
do. They break like the big pay-per-view matches.
Yeah. So what they do is they kind of show you some older footage, and they just trim it down. It's really essentially just a glorified highlight reel.
It's pretty cool though.
But yeah, I do. I mean, they're trying to squeeze it in within an hour time frame to give you so many matches
on Friday nights.
You know, on a Friday night for whatever the big event was at New Japan. So. And what they do is they take that footage, and then JR and Josh go in the studio
in LA,
and then they record
off of TV, which is hard.
Off of TV, which is hard to do.
Yeah.
It's very different
than being actually live
when you're there live, because like you never, you know, that the great thing is you never know what you're going to get live. You're going to get like a different type of energy, and of course you're feeding off everything. You're feeding off the wrestlers, you're feeding off the crowd,
and the time too for live.
The time,
because when you're in those sorry to cut you off, but when you're in those edit bays, calling the match, you can like, if you mess up a line, you can stop and go back and change it.
And you have more experience in that than I do, so you can probably tell people.
And then it's different. JR will tell you it's kind of different. I like it. He likes it, not having to go to Japan, but it's different going to LA, doing it from a studio than doing it from a live place. Because if people don't know this, WWE used to do this all the time, like SmackDown tapings, and Raw tapings when they used to tape Raw. If Vince didn't like a line, you go back the next day and call it from the studio and fix it. Yeah, because Vince wants pronouns, pal.
And Vince
knows it.
Can you do a Vince impression or no?
Oh man, I have to say you're fired first to get it going.
Okay.
You're fired. Can you believe this, JR? Pronouns, pal.
That's pretty good.
Is it? But Vince, I think Vince is an underrated commentator.
Yeah.
From when he was doing commentator, so he knows the job. But that's why people don't know this. Vince is in your ear the whole commentary. If you don't know, Mick Foley quit because of Vince.
Yeah, those headsets. Yeah.
Yeah. Get lively.
The boss is in the ear.
Yeah. So if he doesn't like a line, he'll tell you what to say. But the JR has, I just don't get why New Japan fans. I know they're like hardcore wrestling, but some of them are new to wrestling, and I don't think they fully appreciate what JR has done for the business. And
that's the thing is you're going to get a split audience, right? You're going to get a lot of people who are familiar with New Japan product and a lot of people who are not. And when I was watching a lot of Japanese wrestling, probably this was back in probably 2004, 2005.
Who was the head guy, or basically big guy then in 2004-05 for New Japan?
Oh man, I can't remember the name. But there were just key guys that I would watch wrestle, and the feeling in the crowd were completely different. And, it was just Japanese commentary at the time. And so it was, for me, I was really more into the match. Obviously the announce team helps tell the story.
Yeah, the announce team, the New Japan kind of has like 2 different English announce teams. For during the live stream, it's Kevin Kelly and Don Callis, aka Cyrus.
Yeah, and Kevin Kelly has been around, Ring of Honor,
WWE before that.
WWE before that. So, he's definitely an experienced guy. I've always liked Kevin's work.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different, and he was amazing because I used to watch Ring of Honor a lot. And
those super kicks though he does with the Young Bucks.
He was great with Nigel McGuinness, and now
Nigel's doing great. Yeah,
now Nigel's over with is he with NXT?
Yeah, he's with NXT and Cruise 205 Live.
Yeah, so
he fills in sometimes.
I appreciate Nigel's and
commentary,
and it's really straightforward,
and you get that English accent.
Yeah,
kind of reminds you of Alfred Hayes.
Yes,
and
it just brings a nice mix to the announcing. And of course,
Nigel was awesome though,
and I appreciate him just because I used to watch Nigel and his matches.
He's a great worker.
Yeah, he was an amazing worker.
Man,
there was a reason why he was a Ring of Honor champion for as long as he was.
Imagine if he was in the WWE though.
I know, but because of
injuries too,
the injuries and health issues, there's a really good documentary out there that I need to watch.
Okay,
about
send it
him.
to me.
I need to find it, and then I'll
But yeah, that's what I've heard. Like Nigel, he at least knows what the guys are doing because he's been a world champion,
and that's why he's so good at the commentary on the technical end of it, where Kevin Kelly's more of the color, right?
Yeah, and getting the commentary around now. If you think about it, there's no true world champion anymore. Corey Graves wasn't a true champion. Like
no.
Byron Saxton wasn't a big guy.
I think because the injuries, Corey's career,
and
short.
Byron's career short.
And Byron too.
Then you have Coach back. He's not really a wrestler. He's like another. He's like,
but Coach has had experience, right? He just wanted
right.
to go out, and he had opportunities to be on ESPN.
Yeah.
I do really still like Coach's energy.
I like him as a heel guy. You don't have to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
because we've seen that before. There's great guys that haven't been real.
He's a fan, and I like that.
So gives it a different
energy.
Thing. So, but I think Corey's outstanding.
You know who I miss on commentary is Austin Aries. I miss.
He was actually pretty good.
Yeah, he was great.
People hated JBL. I was a big JBL fan. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah,
you were
as a commentator.
I'm just
Booker T. I'm not a big fan of.
Irritated me. Yeah, I don't know. Booker T. Is just. I don't know. But I'm just not feeling that.
We're getting off subject though. But back to the New Japan. JR was critical of the referees for New Japan. That's another thing that was hit on this week. And all wishes though the best to JR because he did break a rib and that could cause pneumonia. They were saying, the doctors say, but get well soon, JR. But I think he's still good. He still provides great play-by-play, and I think it's gonna be fun to see. But some things that happened during the G1, Cody Rhodes and Kenny Omega made a amends, I think, with the Bullet Club.
Yeah, so there was kind of a speech that happened with Kenny, and the performance is always it's always top notch.
And Cody, once he left WWE, he's taking it to another level.
Yeah, and it was crazy just watching Kenny perform in PWG and what he was doing to where he's at now.
Even Deep South.
Yeah, it's incredible, like how far he's come with his athleticism. I mean, he was always an amazing athlete, and it was just, you know, leaps and bounds now of what he's doing, and it's great because he understands a lot of, you know, what's going on in ring psychology. Like, you know, when he uses finisher, like that's it. And that's back when you used to watch wrestling, like finishers meant something.
Yeah.
You know, now it was just like, oh, well, I do a finisher over and over and people keep kicking out. Like when you were a kid watching wrestling, it was like, man, when you saw that move, that was a wrap.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Tombstone pile driver.
Leg drop. Elbow off the top rope. Macho
like,
Man.
Your finisher was. So, you know, that's why I can appreciate Kenny too, because, you know, when he hits people with one wing angel, that's usually it.
Yeah, that's a great move too. And he's safe with it too.
Yeah, he's definitely. He's a safe worker
There's some
too.
finishers you're like, please don't get hurt. Like
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you're like, people are critical of, like, they don't think of it if you're not a real wrestling fan, but some of those moves, if they're not really like on point and you're not doing it good, you can seriously hurt someone. But I think the one wing angel. But yeah, back to Cody and Kenny.
There was like that promo thing, but I think once that all kind of happened and the men's happened, then of course we got to see Tamatanga and his crew come out, right? Because they're also part of the Bullet Club.
But real quick, back to the beginning of the match, Cody's entrances are getting really cool.
Are they?
He was basically on a platform last week as like
was he?
Egyptian god kind of.
See, I didn't catch all of it.
But then he has that bear thing, whatever, too. That person that's in
somebody in the bear suit.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
And Brandy comes out with him too, right?
Brandy Rhodes.
And Brandy does like an incredible job as you don't see this a whole lot anymore as a heel valet.
Yeah.
Right? And she does. I've seen some matches with the two of them, you know, in New Japan, and I just think
she hadn't really got the opportunity to work in WWE.
Right, and it's incredible just to see, because, you know, each one of these roles has kind of a way to tell a story throughout the match, whether you're a manager or a valet. And you don't see enough good managers or valets, and I think Brandy's doing a really good job.
Hopefully they're bringing that back soon.
I hope so. Yeah. I really do.
Give some other people opportunities.
Yeah. Well, you don't see it a lot in WWE. I mean, you will see it.
Paul Heyman's like the only one.
Oh, yeah. Paul Heyman is fantastic with Brock.
Hopefully he doesn't leave, though.
But you know what? That also has to do with the synergy of the two people, right?
Yeah,
he did really well with CM Punk.
They have to click. He was a CM Punk guy.
Yeah, he was a CM Punk guy.
He like always believed him when he was at Ohio Valley Wrestling, because he got sent down there, Paul did, after some mishaps with the front office.
Yeah.
Which is legendary. One of the greatest documentaries I watched in wrestling. It's about Paul's career.
The Rise and Fall of ECW?
No, the other one, the Paul Heyman one. The one they made about Paulie.
Okay.
But that one, basically, Paul and I think John Laurinaitis was the two of the biggest guys behind CM Punk's. Johnny Ace.
Johnny Ace, yep.
Hey, boss.
Yeah.
That's my Johnny Ace.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Johnny Ace is now married to the Bella's mom.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, CM Punk. But Paul's worked with CM. He's worked with Brock, which guys he's trust. Big Show he's worked with back in the day. I like that one too. Kurt Angle he worked with for a brief period of time. Paul's like the truly only manager left in the wrestling industry you could really talk about. In English is kind of becoming a manager. I don't know why. Yeah, as you said that Brandy was good, but you brought up the Bullet Club. It kind of has a fraction right now, a faction dispute.
And I mean, you're going to see that a lot with factions.
With wrestling, yeah.
You know, I think when Prince DeVitt was there, which is
Finn
Balor in WWE, when he was there, I feel like Bullet Club, they didn't really have that kind of structure.
It was started the Bullet Club, yeah.
Yeah, it was just kind of a group of friends that were.
Was it Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson,
and a couple other guys, and then they were just going around just beating up people,
brother,
and just doing their thing, and then
AJ came in.
You know, AJ came in, and they had that kind of storyline going, but it was never really. No one ever really said, it was just kind of an afterthought, like, okay, AJ's the leader. No one really, there was like no official thing. It was just like, we recognize AJ's a phenomenal wrestler and he's going to be the new, you know, taking over in the Bullet Club.
And when you think of the factions of all time, usually the best wrestler is the leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Ric Flair, Four Horsemen.
Right, yeah.
NWO Hogan, even though Scott Hall technically is the best wrestler out of those three.
Okay.
It's proven. Hogan.
I'm not arguing with you on that.
I know. Hogan's great psychology, but some of his moves, you know, limited. Yeah. Only about 5 moves.
Yeah.
Hogan's back in the news. We'll get to that in a little bit. whether Triple H, Evolution.
Yeah.
But DX kind of was Shawn Michaels was the
I'd say Shawn Michaels was
the first version of DX.
First
Shawn
version,
Michaels, but then Triple H took over. He was probably the best wrestler out of
Rock with the Nation, right?
Rock with the Nation. Mark Henry, no. Mark Henry became a great big man.
Yeah, he was.
D'Lo Brown, Godfather. Farouk, Ron Simmons. Then Evolution. They were all great, really. Even Ric Flair at his age was great. But Triple H later. But yeah, usually it's the best wrestler in a faction, right?
Petey Williams, Team Canada, which is a throwback.
Yeah. But yeah, usually the best wrestler.
Yeah, and so it was, like I say, it was never really said on those programs. It was kind of fan assumption and kind of,
who's the best promo?
Different things kind of leading to that. But really, when Kenny Omega came in, I feel like
his promos are different too.
They were different, and it really kind of, I feel like he was the one that established that kind of hierarchy. Like, okay, now, because he came in as the cleaner. Okay, he's cleaning up, he's going to do his thing, and then it felt like he just slowly moved up into that, that leadership position.
Yeah, then took over for AJ.
And then, because AJ came to WWE to make that
basically
surprise.
Kicked him out of the club.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That was a great one.
Yeah, that was a great storyline. Goodbye. And then, of course, Cody, gets to become a free agent.
He comes in,
and then he kind of makes his way in,
and
that hierarchy's kind of established. And now that storyline's always been like, who's really in control of the dispute Bullet Club,
of like
right? Like who is really the leader? And I feel like in this whole storyline, that's come up the most is the leadership. Whereas the other,
because they're both great workers.
Yeah, because the other quote unquote leaders and members, we didn't have a storyline revolving around that. So this is really interesting and how it's played out. And of course, once they made kind of amends, Kenny cut his promo, Tama Tonga came out and cleaned house, because really a lot of these
basically people don't know, Cody and Kenny were wrestling for the championship, the IGWP championship.
Right.
Kenny won. Kenny basically, or Cody, no, it was Cody who picked up Kenny, I believe, and shook his hand or stuck his hand out.
Yeah.
Then Cody left, and then Kenny and the Young Bucks were cutting the promo in the ring. So they cut the promo. They're walking back up the ramp.
It was about second chances, I think. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but
walking back up the ramp with their backs up against
towards the crowd.
Towards the crowd,
raising the hands, and
then boom. Out of nowhere, it was how do you say that? Tama Tonga, who is Haku's son.
Yeah, and then
King Haku,
and then
King Tonga.
Tongaloa.
Yeah.
So all these people are part of the Bullet Club. That's a lot of people tend to forget, right?
Because which they were there before some of the main guys.
They were a part of that faction before, and so of course, and
all the way back to Prince Neville
started doing the elite
Finn Balor.
stuff. Yeah, and of course, they laid out the Bucks, laid out
Haku was there too.
Hangman Page, I think, got popped too.
Yeah, all the other guys ran in, the new members of the Bullet Club.
Marty was there.
Yeah, Marty was there.
Marty had been there.
Ran into the thing, then they got all laid out.
So it's kind of like the overarching storyline was always like the Bullet Club's fine. Is it fine? And Cody in the press was always saying everything is fine. Despite the friendship disagreements and things like that with him and Kenny. Now it's really the Bullet Club is not fine, right?
And bringing back Haku.
Yes.
Oh, and Cody came back down to pretend he was gonna hit Kenny, but try to clean house, but then everybody jumped on him.
Yeah, he couldn't do it. He's one man against me.
Yeah, plus just wrestled about 40 plus minutes.
Yeah, that's true too. He was probably tired at that. But like I say, it all makes great. Gall gives a good storyline. It's all great. Should always keep with the surprises and the mysticism of wrestling. So, and that's why it's so successful. That's why these guys understand that. Like, we need something that gives like a jolt of energy back into wrestling.
And it had people talking on Twitter on Saturday night.
And this is what does it. Or at least for if you're a wrestling fan, you go to other sources.
Then what happened that following Saturday night, moving on to more WWE news, kind of that style. Brock Lesnar. We finally seen him in a ring, or aka Octagon.
Yeah, an Octagon.
He made his appearance after how many time off? People said, because we never see him on Raw, which people I still don't know why they get mad about. He's a special attraction. I get why they're mad. I kind of disagree with it too. That he should be released on a couple shows, maybe twice a month. But Brock Lesnar, we all know, has been flirting with going back to mixed martial arts and UFC for a while, and it's another passion of his.
Right.
WWE's kind of, I don't know, a paycheck sometimes people would believe from Brock, the way he comes off.
Business is business.
That's what he says.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really a wrestling fan, but business is business.
Mm-hmm.
Brock said he'll be there Saturday night. I'm gonna challenge whoever wins the world the championship, heavyweight championship. Basically, it was between Stipe Miocic. I can never say the name. Stipe versus Daniel Cormier, and Daniel Cormier won the championship with a knockout in the first round, which everybody's like, wow. So Brock, naturally the winner was told by Dana White to say, hey, challenge Brock to come into the octagon. So they did that. Daniel Cormier kind of did this. He made it into a wrestling promo. And I guess people have heard about were saying from whatever the sources they have that Daniel made Brock really, really mad because he did not want this to turn into a wrestling kind of promo feud.
Yeah, but don't you think
it's the best for business?
Yeah, don't you think that's when UFC is at its best? When it kind of follows that storyline, promo style of wrestling, like when they are able to borrow some of those elements. Honestly, I think that just kind of builds up more for the UFC. But I
think it's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm not. I watch MMA here and there, but I'm not like
same
really into.
MMA. I know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not really big watching it anymore, but it's good. Brock's a star. That's what the UFC's kind of lost recently.
Yeah.
In
star power.
Star power.
Yeah.
But once Brock Lesnar lost it that night because of what happened with the push. He went off script real quick. And remember, Brock's promos are decent here, but there are a lot of cussing in them.
Yeah.
So that's why they're like, I'm never going to have Brock talk. That's why Paul talks to him on WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's controlled and because Paul Heyman is
so good at what he does.
Is excellent on he's like the best manager I've ever seen. And so he can control that and he can get heat.
Yeah.
And he can really get the crowd like booing, and going. And, that's why he's good at that.
But what this does for the WWE now is where does Brock lose the championship? And he has to go through USADA. It's basically United States Doping Agency protocol because he was suspended before for steroids.
That's right.
He has to get clean. And he's going to have drug testing regularly now. And if he wants to fight in the UFC, which a lot of people are saying it's not till January.
Did you get anything on Dana White's comments on this? Like,
he's loving it.
I think he probably thinks it's
Brock's
great, right?
back. Brock's back. It's them
why?
Talking about the championship.
Because business probably isn't doing good, right?
It's not. They got new ownership, which was a Japanese company, and they sold a lot of money for the UFC, the Fertitta brothers and Dana.
Yeah.
Got a lot of money of that, but they need something. So this is it. Brock's back.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be till January, but where's Vince go with Brock now? Because he's still under contract for a couple months.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to drop the belt probably SummerSlam. That's what everybody's saying. But who's going to drop the belt to? Braun Strowman? Because he has the money in the bank. But
yeah.
And I don't want to see another Roman and Brock. I'm sorry. It's boring to me. It's a power matchup.
Yeah, it's just I'd rather see someone else take a crack at it at this point.
Even Finn Balor, give him a chance again.
Yeah, well, I feel like Finn Balor's really just got a bad case of the booking, right?
Because that's what a lot of people I think about lately.
Yeah, because if you look at the Extreme Rules card, which is happening today, which we're going to talk about here pretty soon, is that I feel what happened to Finn Balor, and it all
started the night after that SummerSlam
injury.
Yeah, the night after Seth Rollins
got the belt. Got the injury because Rollins did the powerbomb on the barricade, and then he was injured. He had to give up the belt
the next night,
and he could have good promo on it. But after that, they never really did anything with Finn.
No, and that's kind of what they've done with Samoa Joe. And
it's sad because like these guys are great workers, and you can still book Joe as the back when we were watching.
I think we're gonna see something
Joe's
tonight.
Gonna kill you.
I think we're gonna see something tonight,
just like they do with Asuka. Asuka's gonna kill you.
I think it's gonna at SummerSlam. We're gonna see AJ Styles or Samoa Joe, and I think it's gonna happen tonight. I think Rusev was just a one match thing. I don't think he's gonna win. Maybe he will, but
So what do you think? Joe's going to come out and interfere or something?
something's
or
gonna happen
hit
because
him
he's not.
after that?
Joe's not on the card at all.
Really?
And it's something's gonna happen. They're gonna have to use Samoa Joe. He's not booked, I believe, on this card, but they're gonna have to do something soon. And we all know who writes SmackDown. That's Road Dogg, aka Brian James. I think Brian James might be the best booker in the WWE right now, and
That they have, yeah. Probably.
And what he's doing with some of these guys, I think
for Raw and SmackDown, or for SmackDown, anyway, yeah.
What he's doing with some of these guys, I think if you say, hey, Brian, can you use Samoa Joe and AJ Styles? He's gonna write something great for them, and I think it's gonna be what we saw on TNA.
You could
feud.
you could totally do a retelling of their feud, from TNA, because again,
these indie darlings,
they have to create those stories for an audience that isn't familiar with that. Like, you're gonna have those fans that follow every organization, or you're gonna have the fans that only follow specific ones, but you still have a new audience that's coming into the WWE wrestling. So for them to get a chance to retell Joe versus AJ,
you could do
well, I hope they don't drop the ball on this.
You could do it like this. I had to work my way up from NXT. What makes you get the right to come into WWE?
Ooh, that would be a
and
good
get
one.
your opportunity before I do.
Because AJ didn't go through the NXT, which is essentially quote unquote
which everybody else has to go, basically.
The minor leagues.
But AJ worked the deal out where it's like, I'm not going to go to NXT.
Yeah.
Because he was the hottest guy in the world right then.
Yeah.
But Samoa Joe could be like,
that could be a good angle.
Why do you get the opportunity before I got the opportunity for the championship? Why are you the darling? People should love me.
Yeah.
I'm the guy who's worked his butt off.
Didn't I beat you somewhere else?
Yeah. And Samoa Joe's promos are kind of funny, but they're good.
Yeah. I mean, because Joe's got this
intensity.
Incredible intensity about him. That's that gives his character just that extra.
He's the guy that ran the dojo for New Japan in LA for years.
Yeah. So that would be, and I'm surprised, now that you bring that up, I was like, I forgot Joe was even
on SmackDown, right?
On SmackDown, yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking. I don't know.
I know he attacked Ty Dillinger.
Oh yeah, that's
recently.
what they've been doing recently. But
is he just going out and attacking random people?
Yeah,
is that
or
what
Ty
his story
Dillinger.
is
I don't know what's going on, but they need to book him better.
Like, he came out and Ty was like 10-10, and then he didn't even get down the ramp
right before the SmackDown started live.
Yeah,
they're like, WWE content exclusively. No Ty Dillinger is for Samoa Joe to start SmackDown. So, but before we get to the Extreme Rules, which we'll break down the matches really for a little bit, extended period of time, because we're gonna go till 2:30 probably. A little extra overtime. Hulk Hogan's back in the Hall of Fame. Congrats. Hogan's back, I guess. That's apparently breaking news.
Yeah. I mean,
for some comments he made, which...
That was, they weren't going to put him in because of all the controversy surrounding him years ago.
Yeah. Made some comments, some racially...
With the tapes that they found.
Racially diverse... racially... How would I say this? How would you say that, Ben? Made some racially insensitive comments a couple years back, and that's why he was gone from the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, so... Honestly, when I think about this...
It makes you think.
And it does make you think.
Is he coming back soon? Cut some promos.
Either that, or we don't know what their relationship's like. But I have a feeling that we're running out of candidates for the Hall of Fames, right? Because we got to do these every year.
And Hogan's somebody who could bring in, be like, who's this for the Hall of Fame?
Because you always want to. They're always looking for a big
attraction
star and a big attraction for Hall of Fame, and then they just fill the Hall of Fame card out from there. Which we know Vader will probably end up being there.
He's going to induct Brutus the Beefcake Watch.
You think so?
I
don't know.
Yeah. Vader's going to have to be in there,
Yeah, you did tell me
Mick Foley.
You thought Mick Foley should induct Vader, which I think that would be
because Mick's been the head of the campaign for a while.
Yeah.
When Vader wasn't doing too well.
Right.
It's like, Mick's like on his Facebook.
And it just makes sense to have Mick do it, I think.
He lost his hair because of Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, for him to do it. I think. Hopefully they planned it out and they're going to do that. For
it's either Mick Foley or Sting that has to induct him.
Yeah,
it's those two.
That would be the other guy, Sting, because Sting's had so many great matches with him, and I know Sting's talked a lot about Vader throughout his career.
Helped him so much.
Helped him out.
Changed the character of Sting a little bit. From that.
Yeah, they've had
from the baby.
They did the table for 3 too.
Yeah, which was awesome.
Which was
DDP was I believe on that one too. But It's either Vader or Mick Foley or Sting. Those two guys are like the biggest. When you think of WCW feuds for Vader, it was those two guys.
Yeah, that would be good. I think that would work out.
If you could pull up the match card for, do you have it in front of you for Extreme Rules?
Yeah,
Let's start with. I believe
bit.
I already know the pre-match, which will be up in a little while. It's usually
the kickoff show?
They usually start the kickoff show around 3:00 Pacific time, something like that.
Okay.
So
they got
it's either 4 or 3:00. It's going to be Sanity versus New Day, which we saw kind of come to head last week on SmackDown with Sanity
losing.
I believe so.
Was
but
that their debut?
No, it wasn't a couple weeks ago. But
okay, but they lost.
They
They
did a 10 tag team
match.
Right? Maybe they did, but New Day and them are having a feud right now. What do you make of all those 6 of those guys?
Well, I like Sanity. Eric Young. I think this is a great
Opportunity
an opportunity
him.
in a different direction for him.
He's kind of been crazy though all his career.
Yeah.
If you don't know who Eric Young is, people, he's kind of made he's been relevant because I think it was on Survivor or something like that.
Yeah,
to one of those shows, but he's kind of a loose cannon.
Yeah, and I think this is great for him to be a leader. He's a leader of the stable.
Yeah,
and to get these people together
and they're all workers
to do that. Yeah, and they're all great workers. The New Day,
They need somebody right now.
The New Day really haven't been doing too much.
They haven't done that much tag team recently. Hopefully they don't break them up soon because I think they're great together.
But the thing is, again, they
need something relevant.
This is the pre-show.
Yeah.
So,
but it's a great match to start the pre-show.
It is a good match.
All 6 of those guys can work.
Yeah. So this is a tables match, which falls under the Extreme rules for the pay-per-view.
Probably tornado tag.
Yeah, I would definitely see this as a tornado tag, tables match. It would just make sense for New Day to give the oomph to the Sanity to get them going, to get the audience
the push.
The audience a little more
because it helps the New Day in the long run because they need a feud right now.
Yeah, they need a feud, and it's not going to hurt them because I don't think the New Day really is doing a whole lot at the moment.
People love New Day.
Yeah, they're always gonna be the baby face and have.
They tried to become heels when they first started the New Day, but people are like, we love this gimmick.
Yeah, I mean they're not in a tag team title picture at all. So
which I think it's okay right now because they've had their time as the top tag team, but to give them give Sanity the rub of basically, hey, welcome to the SmackDown, welcome to the next show.
Yeah, well, and this will give Sanity a good platform to showcase
because
what
people
they
know
can
what
do on tables match.
Sanity did in NXT. It was pretty cool. They were they had the great vignettes.
Yeah.
They were kind of like the outsiders. They were like the anti-establishment people.
Right.
I think it's great for Eric Young and what he's going to do.
Yeah, that's on the pre-show, and then we've got Sin Cara and Cien that was added last minute.
That was an awesome match on SmackDown that night. I think Cien's going to do great work. It's going to take them a while. Like they'd like to bring some of these NXT guys, and it takes a little bit of time.
And I did catch that. I don't really know who would be winning here. I would think
Cien and Vega are so good together.
Yeah, they are. And there's another great example of
booking.
Valet.
Yeah, valet booking.
Yeah. So she does a fantastic job with him.
That's the kickoff show, right?
That's the kickoff show.
Then we don't really know the match lineup yet, but this is like
no. So you're gonna get Corbin and Balor.
Constable Corbin.
So yeah, you were telling me a little bit outside of the booth that
they changed the gimmick.
Corbin's going into like a transformation, right?
Like he's basically, how would I say this? The Law and Order guy on Raw is the GM's kind of like Stephanie would point at him like the sheriff of the town. So if any problem happens, the constable has to take care of it.
Is that what's going on?
But his ring gear has changed. We know he's got a haircut.
Yeah.
Which he used to have the long hair.
So he got a different outfit now.
Yeah, and Baron Corbin's kind of a guy I think that a lot of people said when he was first coming up that, hey, this guy has something special. He's a former NFL athlete, a lineman, big, tall, strong, tattoos, unique look, but once he came up to the main roster, I think he squandered his chances with sometimes maybe out of his attitude, or we saw him lose money in the bank.
Yeah,
we don't really see those happening that much. They don't when they give you this opportunity, you usually become the next champion.
Yeah,
he didn't get that opportunity. Maybe it was behind the scenes stuff, but this is what I think he kind of got the message saying, hey, If creative says to do this, I have to do this.
Yeah, and so he obviously made the changes, and so he's probably going to start doing. It'd be interesting to see with the changes if he starts doing different things in the ring. If that affects.
And I think Finn Balor's a great guy to work with. To help him establish. Because Finn's been doing it since he was a teenager.
Oh yeah. Finn's definitely a guy you want to be wrestling in.
And Finn's
smart worker,
psychology wise too.
Yeah. The thing with like we were saying is Finn's just been a victim of bad booking ever since he's come back from that shoulder injury.
But sometimes like guys relish this opportunity to help you. Guys establish themselves.
That's true too. So either way, I could easily see probably if Corbin's going through this transformation, I could see him going over Balor. But at the same time, Balor hasn't lost a singles match. He's lost in other matches with tag partners and things like that, but he hasn't lost one-on-one on a pay-per-view level anyway, I would say. He's probably lost singles matches on other shows, but on the pay-per-view shows that Balor's been on, I don't think he's lost any. So with that being said, it's difficult to determine where that's going to go. I have a feeling if Corbin really has, been pushed in this creative direction, that he might get the win on this one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
But there's no extreme stipulation on this match. It's just a singles match, which is kind of irritating on an Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
We'll get to predictions at the end of the show, but I think that's going to be a great match. What's the next match?
So we've got the tag team championship.
Which one? What tag team?
Is Raw.
Okay.
So that would be the B team versus the what do they call him? Matt and
Wilkin. No, something Wilkin.
The leader of worlds.
Yeah.
Because it's Matt and
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, right?
Yeah.
So you told me they've kind of had the belts for a bit.
They have had the belts for a bit. Bray Wyatt got in a car accident a while ago.
Really?
Yeah. I guess it was his fault.
Did he call you and tell you he's okay, or
he didn't call me, but I've been reading the dirt sheets.
You, he's okay.
I've been reading the dirt sheets.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. But I think this is interesting. I think the titles change hands tonight.
You think so?
I think the B team's kind of getting over.
So the B team is Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas,
who used to be the Miz's right-hand guys for a while.
So what did he do? He fired him?
Fired him, or they were like, we'll stay on Raw.
Yeah, so then they just decided to form a team?
Yeah.
Or were they always the B team when
they were always I don't know, they kind of made this name up, but I think it's fantastic. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, these stupid kind of promos they've been cutting. It's funny because people don't know Bo Dallas is Bray Wyatt's brother.
That's right. This actually is interesting because it's brother versus brother, but we don't know.
Brother.
We don't know that
storyline wise, unless you're
unless you're really digging into
wrestling. Yeah, you know what's going on behind the scenes, aka Mike Rotunda's kids, aka IRS's kids. But it's funny though. But I think the B team gets the win. You see, great trilogy of guys who are wrestlers.
But what if they do play into this? Like, what if they could play into this storyline, the brother storyline?
Oh, yeah.
And then they beat him, and then they turn Dallas and, make him a part of the group.
That'd be interesting.
Because, essentially, that was the one draw I really enjoyed with Bray, is that he had the faction, and they toyed with that, and they had, they had the big guy, Luke Harper, Eric Rowan.
Who now the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, and I was like, boy, this is cool. Where could this possibly go? And then I felt like they just broke them up too soon, kind of like the Shield.
Still waiting on Sister Abigail.
Yeah, we're still...
Still, how many years?
Always wanted to know who. Nikki Cross could have been his Sister Abigail, maybe. She could have been, maybe.
I think that one's going to be interesting, but a lot of great workers in that match. What's the next one we got?
So you have the SmackDown Tag Champs, which you're just talking about, the Bludgeon Brothers.
Which are actually getting over right now.
And then you have Team Hell No, which... So this is bizarre.
This is awesome.
This is bizarre
we could talk about this for a while.
Yeah, we could talk about this for a while. So oddly enough, they decided to put Bryan and Kane back together. And I don't know...
By the way, Kane's still running for mayor of Knoxville.
I don't know why. I know it worked before, but... Why are we having Bryan and Kane come back?
Let's go back for the timeline for a little bit. Daniel Bryan returns right before WrestleMania. They team him with Shane McMahon in a tag team to help. I understand that. Get him back in the flow of the game, and it was Shane and Daniel versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which are all great workers. Even though everybody's likes to say Shane's kind of not a good worker, I think he is a little bit because he'll take a risk. Then we go into the thing with Big Cass. We know how that ended. Big Cass getting fired. That kind of ended early.
Yeah.
Big Cass messed up that. That's not fair to Daniel. That wasn't his fault. He was doing everything to help make that go
he was
along.
trying to put him over. Help
He was.
him get over, yeah.
I don't know. Big Cass, I guess, has attitude issues we all heard about.
Rumors.
Rumors.
We don't know.
Yeah, speculations. That's what the dirt sheets are saying. Speculations, baby. First Dusty of the day. Then you bring Kane back, which we're like, interesting. Daniel's in another tag team storyline. I think they're working Daniel back into it. And I don't think Daniel is okay with that a little bit. I think he wants to do singles runs, which we kind of saw.
I'd love to see Daniel do a singles run because I feel like he's not really slowing down.
No.
Which is crazy after knowing that you had this neck injury.
Yeah.
And you would think he'd be working a little safer. But I feel like he's not. But again, it's hard to tell a guy like that to slow down, right? Because he's been working like that.
Oh, by the way, you're listening to KXVS LP Stockton.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Station
yeah.
ID.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Anyways, it's hard to tell somebody like that, right? You know, somebody who's been working that way their whole career. So with the Daniel Bryan, you know, he's working to, you know, as effective as he possibly can, which is kind of worrisome, but at the same time, it's, well, you know, he knows what he's doing, so he's
one of the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
how come he can't challenge AJ?
Maybe that happens at the end of the night. We don't know yet. But I think they're going to work with Kane for at least till SummerSlam.
Right.
And after that, maybe he gets his big singles push. Maybe Vince wants him to work his way back up and make sure he's fully in wrestling mode. Because we've seen this in wrestling. It takes a year for you to... He's been out of the ring for how many years? Or for like 2 years almost?
Yeah,
probably 3 years?
2 or 3, yeah.
So maybe Vince just wants to see what he can do for a year. Then storyline-wise, know he's investing in him because his contract's coming up, and they're going to re-signing or contract negotiations.
That's right. Yeah, you did tell me that.
Yeah. So I don't know. It could be that Vince could be worried about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should probably text Daniel and let him know, like, hey, are you going to stay or are you going to go somewhere else?
Maybe Brie will make him stay.
You think so?
Yeah.
Probably.
She might want to run soon. Come back to the company.
You never know. That'd be interesting.
But what's your take on it? That's my take. Maybe that's Vince wants to first see what he got, see what he has, then invest in him.
You never know. But if I know Daniel Bryan, I know he's that passionate about wrestling, and that's just his work rate. If you've seen him wrestle when he was, you know, coming up in the business and in Ring of Honor and PWG and all these other places, he's always wrestled that way. I mean, he's obviously had to adapt to the WWE style of wrestling, but it's just like telling someone you got to slow down, and he's not going to slow down. I think that's just his way of keeping the performance. You know, I'm coming back. I want to make sure everybody knows that I'm back and I'm at that peak level.
I think Triple H knows that, but I think Vince is also like Vince cares about these guys. People don't know that. Triple H cares about them too, but Vince cares about them.
But Triple H he's got NXT to worry about.
Yeah, that's what he's worrying about. But Vince, I think this is Vince's investment. Daniel Bryan's an investment for Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
And Vince wants to know if he's okay and 100%, and if I should spend my money doing a program
for him
that big with him something happens.
Book him with the right people. Him and AJ could go.
Yeah.
I'd love
him and Samoa could go.
Yeah, I'd love to see those matches.
We saw Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Bryan Danielson all in ROH.
Yeah, that would definitely be a good program for them. If they don't do the Joe and AJ thing, you could do Joe and Bryan.
But why do you bring back Kane, do you think, right now? Do you think because it's something
I don't know. I feel like maybe if they were so invested in that tag storyline, you know, that's what I've always said about WWE. Their tag division's always been the weakest.
But they have great tag teams right now.
They do. They just don't. I don't think they know how to
book
them right. I think that's the key. And so, you know, who would have thought Bray and Matt would team up?
Yeah.
I always thought those guys should just keep feuding.
And then Jeff went to SmackDown as a singles guy. Yeah.
But, you know, that's inevitable with the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
You know, like when they broke up the first time, Jeff was the standout and Matt was trying to figure out his character. And of course, now that he's got his character down, he can break away from his brother and do whatever he wants to.
Yeah. But I think Kane, it's going to be interesting. That's what I'm thinking. So after SummerSlam, Kane goes away, gets ready for his campaign again. Then they do something with Daniel.
Yeah. I mean, there's no real, I don't see them winning.
Yeah.
I see the Bludgeon Brothers,
who are two great workers.
Yeah, with the belts, and just simply because we know that Kane's doing stuff outside of that. So how long can he actually...
political stuff.
How long can he actually commit to this before he's got to take off?
Yeah. Kane's one of those guys I don't think will ever retire.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Next match.
So we got Jeff and Shinsuke.
Which I think can be match of the night category alongside Dolph Ziggler.
That is. I think that's up there for
Seth
match
Rollins.
of the night. Again, another match that's not Extreme Rules. What's going on here? Like, almost this whole card is not... Like, I've seen A-Tables match.
I think we have a title change again tonight.
You think so?
I think Shinsuke wins, and I think this will be a great matchup for a while. I think this could be the matchup, like, for they could build this program. We know Jeff's promos are interesting. Shinsuke doesn't really... His promos are getting better, but they're funny.
Yeah, because he's doing the whole don't speak English
thing,
bit, which is cool.
But I think this could be what we wanted to see with AJ and Shinsuke. Jeff can do this. I think Jeff can work with anybody. I think Jeff can work with Shinsuke and make 5-star matches, maybe.
I don't know, because both of these guys sort of injured.
True.
So
coming off injury and just got bit by a dog.
Yeah, so this is kind of really a toss-up. I don't really know where this could go. Both guys are great. I mean, obviously Jeff has been.
But it's an interesting storyline, right?
Before. Yeah, it is. He's really toyed with Jeff a lot, and
he's toyed with everybody since he's been turning heel.
And this gives Jeff a chance to get back on the promo wheel again, away from his brother. Because really, I mean, when he was over there in TNA and they
didn't
did
really
the whole
talk.
They did the whole Hardy Boys thing. A majority of the promo time was all Matt. I mean, Matt carried that, which is crazy because if you look back years ago, it was the opposite.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see, the brothers kind of shifting gears a bit. But it also gives Jeff, wiggle room to get creative here too. I don't really know on this one. I think either way, you're good.
It's going to match up no matter what.
It just really depends on the health of the guys. If Jeff's really kind of struggling noticeably for certain things, let Shinsuke, take over and go. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
It's going to be a fantastic matchup, I think. Maybe 15, 25 minutes long. Mm-hmm. Next matchup we have
Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman.
I love this. I love this feud right now.
God, a steel cage match.
Oh my God.
So we actually have something that's good here.
Was that your Joey Styles?
What? Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
I love Joey Styles as a play-by-play guy.
He is. I love Joey Styles as a commentator. There's a commentator that carried ECW.
Yeah, one-man show.
One-man show. Joey Styles.
Yeah,
and then of course when Cyrus came on, that was great too. That was. But was fun.
Joey Styles is a really underrated play-by-play guy.
He's totally underrated. One of my favorites.
I loved him on Raw. I know Vince kind of drove him crazy in his ear because Paulie let him go and didn't bug him at all. He gave him notes.
But take a crack at it. I thought Joey was great.
I thought he was good for taking over for JR for a while on Raw. Mm-hmm. But back to this. I think this is great right now. I love Kevin Owens being afraid for some reason of Braun Strowman. Kevin Owens can adapt his promos to anything as a heel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just funny, like whether it's Kurt Angle back there checking his
eating
phone
a sandwich.
Eating a sandwich. Hey, you want some of this? It's pretty good.
My doctor says I can't compete tonight, so I'm staying here. I'm gonna hang out and watch the show with you.
Yeah, and then the whole bit with
Braun Strowman knocking him off stage with a porta potty.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Shania Twain concert too recently.
Yeah, that concert. I mean, it's all over the place, but you know what? He's having fun with it, and that's why it's good.
I was talking to you with this once Sami Zayn kind of they split off from the tag team, going their separate ways. Zayn was trying to work with Lashley, then Zayn got hurt. Mm-hmm. Kevin needs something to do.
Honestly, was going nowhere.
You thought so?
I don't think it was going anywhere.
Was it Bobby not carrying it, or was it Sammy trying to carry it himself?
It was just like, why are we even doing this storyline? I don't know.
It was weird, the whole dad situation.
It was a strange thing, and now, of course, obviously, Bobby's feuding with Roman, right?
Yeah, which I kind of like as a power.
That's a little different.
It's different. It's both power guys. Yeah.
It's just so weird what they were doing with Sammy at the time. He was like a super face when he came in, and then he's starting to do the heel
He got injured,
thing,
before that.
Injured, and I'm like, and then, of course, we were kind of saying he should come back as Generico.
Yeah. That'd be interesting to see him.
That would be good.
That would be funny. Actually, real quick, if people don't know what we're talking about, give them a little thing of Sami Zayn's ROH character.
Generico? Yeah, of course, he just had the mask. He wrestled more. He can still wrestle the high-flying lucha style and spoke Spanish.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Was it bad Spanish?
No. He's actually, Sami Zayn's fluent in like
Arabic. He's Arabic if people don't know that.
He's like 3-4 different languages he's fluent.
People don't know it. They might think he's Irish, but he's Arabic. His beard is like orange, but he's from Montreal. He speaks Canadian, of course. But French-Canadian, I'm sorry. Canadian's a language now, apparently, Dustin. But yeah, I don't know what they were doing.
You want
to
go to Canada, don't you? You
do want to live in Canada one day. I do want to take a trip.
You should take a trip.
Let's take a trip. But I think, as we said, Kevin needed something. And I think Braun Strowman's hilarious, too. People don't know this. This guy's hilarious.
You know, here's a guy that was just kind of there.
Yeah.
And then he was kind of like rough around the edges. And then it was kind of like when he really started to,
become a character.
Blossom and as a character when this whole Alexa Bliss.
But even before that, I knew he was funny because I listened to a podcast he did with Jericho and Luke, Gowan, or what? I'm trying to think. What are the brothers? Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. They did a podcast and it was hilarious. And Braun is hilarious as a 6'11" guy almost, 300 plus pounds of all muscle. The guy gets how to get over an audience, and if it's being funny, he'll do that. If it's being like the scary monster he is, he can do that. But Kevin Owens, you know what I see tonight? Kevin Owens winning somehow and Braun going nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way.
Yeah.
You could keep Braun on the win streak that he's been on for quite some time, or you could have Owens pull some heel tactics and get a win.
I like this matchup. I'm not gonna lie. Kevin Owens, great worker.
This is one of the standouts I think on the card. I think this could potentially be really, really good.
I think, and for Braun can work for a while. He has a motor. And we don't see it in certain big guys, but Braun can adapt to certain styles of wrestling so far right now. And the perfect guy, as we know, to work with right now when that comes to certain styles.
Yeah.
Kevin can get a match out of anybody. Oh,
yeah. No, I think they're both perfect for this. Braun's just, like you said.
He's adaptable.
Yeah.
Both are adaptable.
They are. So they can figure it out, and I think they'll put on a good show, especially it being a cage match, like I say, with a limited amount of.
And this one probably won't go that long. It'll be like 10 minutes or something like that. You think longer?
It depends.
What's in that in the card?
Let's see who else is on this, because we still
let's go to the other matchups.
SmackDown Women's Championship, which is Camilla.
Oh my goodness,
Carmella and Asuka.
I'm such a Carmella mark right now.
I know you are.
Like no, I'm serious.
You've got to be the biggest Carmella mark I've ever met.
I swear her and Alexa Bliss right now are the best two promos, sometime in the business, maybe a little bit, because. She can cut a promo.
Can you fanboy anymore?
I am. Hey, Carmella, how are you?
Yeah.
Former Patriots and Lakers dancer. I know you're single, I think, right now.
Okay.
That's taking it too far. Yeah. I'm sorry. But
he's got the details. And the mutton chops.
I don't know. Do you find her as a character? Like, she's good. She's proven herself more than she did in NXT.
Well, I haven't really followed Carmella a lot, but I can say from what I've seen, Carmella's really kind of come into her own.
Yeah.
She's really figured out the nuances of her characters and kind of refined them. I've followed Alexa Bliss a little bit more, which is great to see Alexa doing promos at such a higher level.
If you think about this, on NXT, Carmella and Alexa Bliss weren't the stars of NXT.
No, they weren't.
They weren't the four horsewomen.
No. And Alexa was actually doing more babyface work at the time.
But Carmella...
And she was kind of the back seat of Kaz and Big Cass, and who's the other guy?
Enzo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like These two ladies weren't the stars of NXT.
Yeah, no, they weren't really. During that time period, they were overshadowed because it was Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and don't forget, we also had just around the same time period, we had Paige and Emma, which Emma's gone on to do some great work outside of WWE.
Yeah. And Paige is retired right now.
And Paige, because again, another one because of the neck injury, and it's
way
sad.
too young.
Way too young.
She's like 23.
Yeah, I know, and it's just she did some incredible work. Was the anti-diva.
Came back with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
Right, and so had her own faction. Well, she had a couple different factions because she was with Charlotte and Becky.
Oh yeah,
they were PBC or something.
Yeah.
Or I don't know what it was, but.
But as I was saying, Carmella and Alexa Bliss right now are like, whoever found like, hey, look at these two. These two can do something. Somebody believed them in the backstage area.
Well, they've really developed over time.
Yeah.
So I like Asuka for
but
this.
I think but I think it's a great feud right now. Like Carmella's doing. Such
this is great because again you're seeing some cheesy heel tactics with. James is in the kind of manager role-ish and
intergender matches.
Yeah, and the intergender matches and things like that.
He'll be in a shark cage.
Yeah, he'll be in a shark cage, so he's not going to interfere, but that doesn't mean Carmella is not going to sneak in something.
She can do something. Like she's been like that for
what I'd love to see is if Asuka would do the mist.
Oh yeah, Great Muda Mist.
The Great Muda Mist. I would love to see that just as a counter to this.
The Tajiri Mist.
Yeah, the Tajiri. Yeah, that would be cool. I would love to see that. And,
but if Asuka wins, do they still use the Carmella matchup for a little while? Then they transitioned her to somebody else. Say Becky Lynch is getting a big fan support right now. She is again. Yeah, people miss Becky Lynch as a main event.
No, they have, and I follow Becky on Instagram, and she's definitely got a lot. I mean, what's great is she does a lot of different fan highlights and things
and fan art,
and fan art. So I mean, there is like a huge, more than I remember in the last couple of years for Becky.
Because once she won that women's championship, it's kind of been like downhill.
Yeah, so it would be good to see her get back.
And Charlotte's coming back soon to the women's SmackDown division.
That's right, because she's cleared.
In 3 weeks she'll be back.
In 3 weeks, she'll be back. So I mean, SmackDown needs it. They need.
I don't want to see a Charlotte Becky matchup, to be honest, though.
Not really. I'd love to see them team up. I love seeing them
tag teams championships for the women's division. Come on, Vince.
Yes, I'd love to see that.
Yeah, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay right now, the Iconics. Woo.
Yeah, the Iconics are on fire.
They're doing good stuff. Yeah, Becky. Carmella and James Ellsworth versus Asuka. What else is after that?
So we have the Raw Women's Championship,
which is Extreme Rules match.
Yes, it is. It's what is it? What is it? Is it weapons or what is it?
Kendo stick.
Kendo sticks.
Again, for Alexa.
Is it the kendo stick on the pole? Or?
I don't know. Is that a Vince Russo, hey bro, kind of thing?
Say, hey bro, yeah.
Hey bro.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a throwback somewhere where Alexa did one with Bayley.
Yeah, she did a year ago.
Yeah. So that was a kendo stick on a pole match. So if that's something that they do, obviously we know the kendo stick's going to be in play.
And we know Ronda Rousey will be there somehow. Probably.
Yeah, somehow.
Somehow she has to come up.
So don't think that she's not going to be at ringside or around or interfere or something. So
I would like to see a triple threat match between Ronda, Nia Jax, and Alexa somehow in the future. Maybe SummerSlam.
You might, if however it plays,
it's a great
however it plays out tonight, you may see that at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Okay. Next matchup after that.
So then you've got your favorites, Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley.
Woo! Yeah. Talk about a 5-minute match. Yeah. What was it? Bill Goldberg here apparently.
What the? I mean, like I say, I saw some of the Sammy and Lashley thing, and I just was like, what are they doing?
The only thing I'm finding funny about this Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley feud right now is the Bob comment. When Roman says, hey, Bob, instead of Bobby.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
so me and my buddy always had this joke, shout out to Jacob in Sacramento, is we always had this joke with Bobby, as every time you see him, he's always happy.
He smiles.
Like whenever he's doing a promo, he's happy. Like he could pile drive you and he'd just be smiling. Like, does this guy get angry? Is he just happy for every promo and every belt that he has?
And what's with the headband thing?
Like, hey mom, hey, how we doing?
What's with the headband thing?
I don't know. He's doing the headband thing again?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't get it.
He did that when he was like
NXT, right?
Yeah. No.
Or no, TNA.
TNA, yeah.
I'm
and he did that even way before.
Oh, did he?
Is it a red headband?
It's different colors.
Okay, so but he was doing the red headband back then.
I don't get it.
You know what? Whatever.
It's a fashion thing.
If Roman goes over, he goes over.
And the fans are gonna still hate it no matter what.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't really know what's going on with this thing.
Yeah.
With this feud.
I don't know what. Yeah, they need somebody for Roman to work with. So here, take Bobby.
So they were like, okay, yeah.
I swear, I better not see Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam again. I think the fans will be seriously mad about that if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, either way you go, I feel like it's just there. You know,
I don't want to see Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar either.
No, I don't want to see that either. But
I want to see somebody who can actually work with Brock, and hopefully Brock, I can talk, does the job.
Yeah,
like we've seen him kind of not do the job with Dean Ambrose a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. But go ahead.
So, might as well go on to the next one because I got nothing else on this.
Okay.
It's Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins.
Match of the night candidate.
Along
with Shinsuke and Jeff Hardy.
Championship.
The championship's relevant again.
Yes, it's a 30-man Iron Man match. My only issue with this is again, it's not extreme. If it was a 30 Iron Man,
Drew McIntyre.
If it was a street fight, Iron Man match.
Drew McIntyre's there though.
I don't care.
Okay.
Just give me a street fight. Let's fight all around the arena
real quick,
for 30 minutes.
Real quick, how do you feel about Drew McIntyre? Like he's been one of those guys that went away, came back, and kind of redid himself. Don't like it?
I mean, Drew is Drew. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but what's his role? How long has he been with Ziggler?
For a month or two.
Yeah.
But people are saying
he wants to turn on Ziggler?
I don't know. Everybody's comparing him to Diesel and Michaels.
It's a Diesel Shawn Michaels mirror.
That's what everybody's saying. I love Dolph Ziggler, to be honest. I've always
Well, he kind of flubbed on the mic.
Did he?
Yeah,
I missed
Raw.
that.
Yeah, that's when he came
He's usually a good promo guy.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, he messed up.
He does comedy. You know that now?
Yeah, I know. He does comedy, yeah.
But I think Dolph Ziggler is very underutilized sometimes. Yeah. I think the front office knows, he gets upset with the front office, and he's the first to tell you that he's critical of the front office sometimes. Mm-hmm. But, man, Dolph can work. Dolph can put a best match out there. If you say, Dolph, I need this from you, he'll go do it. And I just think him and Seth Rollins, we've seen it so far. Even Seth and Drew McIntyre was great a couple nights ago.
Honestly, I think it just really comes down to how long do they want these two guys to stay together. Because the two guys probably can't stay together forever. They probably have good chemistry now, but at some point, one of the guys is like, you know what? You're winning too many titles, and I want titles too, And
then Seth goes back, probably main event.
Yeah, I mean, this is great for Seth. Both of these guys are great workers, so I'd be interested to see.
All three are great workers. Right?
Yeah,
with Drew.
Drew, but Drew's not in it.
I know. I'm just saying, Drew's a great worker.
Would you want him to be in it? Do you want him to be a handicap match or what?
It could be. Hey, is that your Kermit the Frog, or is that your guy in the basement wrestling fan on dirt sheets saying, hey, I hate this matchup.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Delete.
Book.
What, a keyboard warrior? Is that what they call him?
Keyboard warriors.
No, I've always been a Tyler Black fan.
AKA Seth Rollins.
Yes, AKA Seth Rollins. So if Rollins gets a win, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Even Ziggler gets a win. It's okay.
Even if Ziggler got the win, it's okay. You just know they're going to put on a good match, 30 minutes. You're going to see some, because the curb stomp is back, right?
Yeah.
It's been back for a while.
What's Dolph use as his finishing move?
Is it the zigzag?
Zigzag.
He's still doing that?
Yeah. I like that move. It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's a great worker, though.
I'd love to see the Phoenix Splash or
the Phoenix Splash.
Yeah, that's
what was that
Seth
move?
Rollins' other move.
Oh yeah.
You haven't seen the Phoenix Splash?
I think I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh man, it's great. And I heard at one time.
Is he using the pedigree still?
No, he's not.
Got rid of Triple H's move.
Nah, well that storyline's over.
I know, but he used it for a while after that storyline was over.
Yeah, because
the curb stomp was gone.
Yeah, because they said you can't do the curb stomp.
And Triple H is like, use my finisher.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. But people don't know it's etiquette to ask if you can use somebody's finisher.
Well, I guess
or move.
Yeah, that would be preferred.
Because apparently, I don't know. I heard DDP was kind of upset that a long time
Randy
ago, Randy Orton was
doing it
RKO kind of, but it wasn't. I guess it wasn't the diamond cutter somehow. But I love DDP.
Yeah, which at the end of the day, it's just an ace cutter, which is just at the time when they were doing all that stuff, it wasn't. They were just basic moves, and then all of a sudden it just blew up. But yeah, obviously it's etiquette to do that.
Man, it's 2:25, Ben. It's almost time to go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go through the match card again, and let's do a prediction.
The last one. So the championship match, AJ and Rusev. You're a big Rusev fan.
Hey,
you want to see Rusev go over, right?
Rusev Day.
Rusev.
To be honest, I'm more of an AJ Styles fan.
You're an AJ fan.
Yeah,
I'm actually fine if AJ wins
Me
here.
too.
We know he's gonna win. Yeah. Come on, why would you have Rusev win?
And what's this gonna do for Rusev? I don't think he's gonna be. He's like a stopgap.
It's fun. It kind of gave him a little boost for a little bit.
You know who we haven't talked about though? That's not on this card is The Miz. So do we see a Miz AJ matchup at SummerSlam?
Unless Miz decides to interfere somewhere in tonight's
So that's
card.
what I'm saying. Like,
so you think he'll pop up?
There's some guys not on the card. Samoa Joe's not on the card. And Miz is not on the card.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? So there's something that could happen tonight. Okay, let's go to the predictions real quick. Can you get the match? Or we could start from the championship if you want.
Yeah, we can work our way back from the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know AJ's gonna win, right?
Yeah, AJ's gonna win no matter what.
What's it gonna do?
But does he main
Rusev?
event tonight? He has a main event in a co-branded pay-per-view. People don't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why wouldn't he main event?
I don't know. Some people are saying it's going to be maybe Ziggler and Rollins, but I think that'd be the opener.
No.
It has to be the opener, right?
No. I don't think that would be the Well, that could be the opener. You could be right. That could get that really could get the show going.
Yeah, needs to get the crowd going. Something needs to get the crowd going.
So, so you wanted Ziggler?
I want Ziggler to win, but I could see Rollins winning, but I don't know. I think somehow
if you want to keep those two guys together and you want to keep the momentum,
somehow I think Ziggler wins it. McIntyre interferes. That creates
to help win it,
and then that creates a Rollins versus McIntyre feud, and Ziggler faces somebody else.
Yeah, that could be a good one. Okay, so and we kind of figured
maybe Ziggler versus Reigns in the future, but I think Reigns.
So we figure Reigns is probably going to beat Bobo.
Yeah, unless Bobo has some help, but I don't see Bobo as a heel.
Yeah, he smiles too much to be a heel.
Okay,
Alexa Bliss over Nia, you think?
Yes, but Ronda will be involved somehow.
You think Ronda might accidentally do something and get Nia instead? And then Alexa knocks her down and then capitalizes and gets the win?
And that creates a triple threat at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm.
Because then Nia's like, no, we're doing it over. You're getting in here. You cost me that match.
30-day suspension's almost up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then Owens over Braun or Braun?
I think Owens over Braun somehow, but it's going to be hilarious.
I think Owens over Braun because I know how Owens is, and he's got like some cheeseball tactics that he can
he's hilarious.
He'll pull out something and he'll win.
Those two guys are working together are hilarious though right now.
Either way, I'd be okay with either guy at this point.
But I think Owens wins somehow.
Jeff and Shinsuke. I think Nakamura.
Yeah, same. I'm with you. Shinsuke wins the championship, and that creates a feud.
Yeah, I think Nakamura is going to go over.
And I think Jeff's okay with that, to be honest. Jeff's not one of those guys that doesn't need a belt.
No, he never has. He's got a huge fan base anyway. They're going to follow him to the ends of the earth.
So and it's, oh my goodness. You know how dark that's going to get with Jeff and Shinsuke, I think?
Oh, yeah, that could quickly turn.
Like dark. You know how Jeff Hardy can make that dark character? Like, that's going to get really
Enigma?
Yeah, it's going to get really good.
Yeah, so Team Hell No or the Bludgeon Brothers? I'd say the brothers for
sure. You know what? I say Team Hell No wins tonight.
Really?
But I say somehow at SummerSlam they lose. Okay. But I could see him a quick run with the championship.
B Team or the Matt Hardy.
We're having another championship change. Bray. B Team wins.
B Team? Yeah, you're going for the B Team?
I think it's it's comedy. It's gonna be funny.
Yeah, it's comedy. It might. Okay, I'll go with that. How about Finn or Baron?
Finn wins.
Finn
wins, but Baron shows he's improved.
Okay.
I think Finn puts over Baron, but Finn wins.
And then we said Sanity already for New
I
Day. I think Sanity has to.
Sanity has to win, and New Day's okay with that.
And I
but
think
it's going to create a feud.
Then Cien and
Cien wins.
Cien, probably.
That's I think the end of the show, right? Anything else can add? I'm gonna walk over here real quick.
Nothing else, baby.
Talk while I walk over here real quick.
You go do that. Do your thing. Come on, hit those knobs.
But do you think
that lever?
How do you think the show went today, Ben?
It's great. It's always fun.
Any predictions? Though we already gave all our predictions, but you think anything else happens in the match tonight?
Well, you know somebody's going to interfere, right? You said Joe wasn't on the card. You said Miz wasn't on the card. So I'm not surprised if one of those guys shows up for something. Surprise me. Come on, WWE.
Brock Lesnar show up?
Well, I don't know about that.
I don't think so. Vince, that's another rumor we didn't talk about. Vince was not happy. He didn't want nobody to use Brock's name on Monday Night Raw last week.
Nobody reference him?
Nope, no reference at all. You can't even reference Brock. Okay.
That's good to know. I'm glad you're in the loop on those raw conference calls.
Oh man,
yeah, they threw my number in the trash. So
did they?
Not in on them.
Did that happen?
Yeah, I passed one of the guys my number. You know, like
no, really,
folded it
you're
up.
lying
I was
over
like,
there.
Yeah, get me in on a SmackDown meeting. Nope, I just threw it in the trash.
Hey, I heard about that one time. I guess it was. There's a rumor that this is what Bruce Pritchard said on one of the podcasts, that Paul Heyman did that. Like he. You know how you call
the conference call line open, right? I think even Paul said that.
Yeah, like have you heard about this story before?
And somebody was on there?
But you know, okay, people might not know this, but on conference calls you have to like call into a certain number and then you have to verify who you are. And they're like blah blah blah, and this is joining the conference call. Mm-hmm. But Paul used somebody's name somehow, or something. I forget how it went, but
I'll have to watch it again because I do remember this.
But use the name. And people are like, he's not supposed to be on this conference call. And Paul was listening in. And like, I don't know, somehow he got in trouble. But
yeah, they thought he was leaking
information to one of the dirt sheets.
Yeah, something like that.
But Ben, when should we do this again? Maybe Friday. Mm-hmm. Maybe Friday or something like that. We'll get together and talk about this. Summer Wonderland's coming up, though.
Summer Wonderland. So you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah. Where's the right here in front of mine? Cheap Pop, as they said. Bedford Block Party, July 21st, 2018. 2001 Pacific Avenue at the one and only Art Lab by the Mr. Drew Hunt, who's awesome. And we're going to have food, we're going to have bands, and what else we're going to have, Ben?
So you're going to see food vendors, you're going to have Global Fusion with those, sliders. I hear these sliders are
Baby, you ready to eat next week?
I've got to
Dusty's not there right now.
Make a cheat day. And Cafe Nessa with tacos.
Ooh, street tacos.
Yeah, street tacos, always good. Rita's Italian Ice is going to be there.
The truck's going to be there.
Yeah, the truck's going to be there.
Get some gelato.
Chef Tobias doing lemonade.
Some great, famous lemonade.
Cooked by Brooks doing wings, huh?
Oh, yeah. Then we got some Channel Brewing Beer.
If
you like that kind of stuff.
You got that blonde ale going off the tap, right?
And I believe some wine also.
So then you got...
and we got some raffles and art and other stuff going on.
We got live performances. We got DJ Leo the Lion on the turntables, and we got Kimball Hooker coming from Oakland.
Then we got Jordan Waters all the way from Modesto.
That's right. We got Rane.
Yeah. Who does Rise and Shine right here, where the microphone I'm standing at does that.
And then across the bar with Brian and John.
Yeah.
And the EQ band.
The house band.
The house band.
Yeah.
The classic R&B and rock.
And much more. And art and some auction pieces too. Mm-hmm. So it's sketches.
It's a free event. Come on out. Bring your
6 to 10 p.m.
Bring your friends. Bring more friends.
Maybe talk some wrestling with me and Ben.
We appreciate donations.
I'll be behind the bar helping Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pouring beer.
Some
and wine.
Channel Brewing.
But we got lemonade too.
We got lemonade too. We got water, soda, all that stuff. But and the pub crawl is happening next week on the mile.
Yeah, it is beer week. It is beer week. So come out.
Yeah,
where I think we're the last day in beer week.
We're promoting everything.
Yeah, we're doing it all.
So yeah, that's what's going on. Fun Entertainment 2001 Bedford Block Party.
Come on, you've got to do it. Come on.
Pacific Avenue at the Art Lab. And if you want more information, go to thevoiceofstockton.org or follow us on Facebook or all the other social media platforms. You know where we're at. Right here on The Voice of Stockton. Ben, it's been fun as always with you.
Always, Dusty.
You gonna watch the Extreme Rules tonight?
Maybe.
I'm gonna watch it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Hook it up.
We'll be Facebooking that
up.
Brother
up.
Brother. Okay, we have to go. We have a show at 3.
Peace.
Bye, Dustin and Ben. This has been Watching from Ringside, and hope you guys enjoyed this 1 hour and 30-minute matchup. Bye.